None of this is live, so
Cool.
But yeah, not a big fan of casting couch porn.
No, dude, it's so creepy. It's so are we just going right now?
Yeah, like I said, none of this is live.
Cool.
Which when me and Cam did it, I was like, oh, I cut out the first minute. I usually fuck up, and he's like, no, just put it in.
Yeah, keep it.
Like, all right.
Nobody's here for editing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody listens to a podcast because like it's so well edited.
Yeah,
except for weirdos.
It's all about, you know.
It says it right there behind you, unfiltered.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not politically correct, like in any way, shape, or form. Like, this is kind of like covering my ass in case I say something that crosses the line, and I'm like, well,
it's in the name.
Yeah,
yeah. That's it. You know, but look, that happened to Legion of Skanks. So like, we're gonna say the world's most offensive podcast in the tagline.
And then people get offended, and then they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it says it right there.
I guess it's kind of like why McDonald's has to put caution hot on everything.
Yeah.
Because, like, are people that fucking stupid?
Well, dude, they are. Dude, that woman, like, that whole thing where she burned herself, she had third-degree burns, though, on her body from spilling that coffee.
That is really hot.
Yeah, like, so it's like, she should have gotten some fucking money from McDonald's. Plus, fuck McDonald's, you know? They can spare a few $100,000 for this woman's burnt pussy, you know? Like...
Fuck yeah, man. I'm glad you came on, dude. You're one of my favorite Wilmington comedians, dude.
Well, thank you.
You and Brian Granger are the two people I do not like following.
I love following Granger. I feel like
he does bring good energy to the room. I will say
he brings great energy, and it's just like there's nothing that Brian is going to say that is more problematic than anything that I'm going to say. You know, like I'm in the clear. You know, because I'm like offensive for woke comedians. You know,
right.
That's my happy medium. Is I can go do your store in a lesbian occult bookstore. Right, you know.
And still be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine, you know? On the right side of history.
I could see, I couldn't get away with that shit. There's a limit. I mean, I've found the limit of what I can and can't say, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's what your first couple years, it's all figuring that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the cultural shift happen like a year into doing stand-up. Like, it started to just move in this other direction, and I just had to like work with it, you know?
Because it's not.
But I think it makes you better.
Anywhere. Yeah. Because nothing's harder than having to come into a place and have to work clean.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's about like finding that like happy medium and just like learning how to fail for so many years, you know?
Yes.
Like, and it's hard because it's like, look, I love fucking comics and like records and stuff, and I collect this shit, but when people put on shows in comic shops and record stores, which I have in the past, I quickly realized it's like, oh, I might be the crowd for this, but the crowd here is not for me, you know, like, I'm too much for them. Like, they don't want someone like me being the representation, you know, for this record store or whatever, which is totally cool. And like, it's really is like, oh, well, I'm the problem here, you know, like, and that's fine. Like, I'm glad that like I realized that I'm the problem before someone was like, "You're graphic." Yeah, which is, you know, totally cool. Like, it is just like I hate my comedy so fucking much, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, I watch someone like fucking Matt Coughlin, you know, who's like a local comic, and like I'm so jealous when I watch Matt. Like, I wish that I could do what he does. Like, my favorite types of things to like consume.
And he's not dirty or anything.
No, my favorite things to consume, whether it's comedy, you know, or anything, are like things that I can't even like conceive of doing. You know what I mean? Like Pee-wee's Big Adventure is my favorite movie of all time, and it's because like the character of Pee-wee Herman is so genius to me, and I like can't even conceive of creating something like that. Like, it's like being like Albert Einstein or something, where I'm just like, how the fuck do you think of that? Like, and it be like such a weird character like that has like, you can't like explain that character, you know what I mean? Or what makes him funny.
If you were at a cocktail party and you tried to without pictures or anything explain his character, people would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's bizarre. You're like, yeah, it's kind of like a mischievous 12-year-old boy, but he's also a full-grown man, and he wears, you know, a gray suit with a red bow tie all the time. And people would be like, that sounds awful. And you're like, oh,
but
no,
it's
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. It's like, I don't know how you can be so innocent, yet, like, so evil at the same time.
They completely, like, fucking demonized him for, like, jerking off at a movie.
Yeah, at the adult movie theater.
That was showing pornography.
Yeah. No, he got, like, in trouble for that. People always get it wrong where they'll say, like, that's why Pee-wee's Playhouse was canceled. But, like, Pee-wee's Playhouse ended, like, I think a year or two before that. Like, it had been off the air, but... Dude, I mean, they pulled reruns. Like, that show was massive. Like, there was, like, a whole generation of, like, kids that, like, didn't watch that show, you know, because it wasn't available. And thank God it is now.
A lot of kids grew up on them.
Yeah, and I mean...
that was iconic.
Yeah, and so, like, I mean, I grew up with parents who, like, had VHSs, you know, that they would show to me. But, like, other than that, it's not like it was available. And it's amazing, you know?
That's how Rocky and Bullwinkle was. Like, my grandparents had a bunch of VHS tapes, and you go back and look at it, and you're like, wow, that's racist.
Yeah, oh, God. Like, so many old cartoons are racist. It's just like, wow, was it just, like, a leveling up of just saying who could do the most offensive things?
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy, dude.
Because there weren't, like, at the time, like, cartoons, there were not really much regulation.
Yeah.
As, you know, like sitcoms and shit like that was.
Yeah, well, they would just, like, show them, you would go to the movie theater, and you would, like, watch, like, a newsreel, and then, like, you know, a Donald Duck short, and then, like, 2 movies, you know? Like, that's just, like, how it would be. So it was just, like, filler programming, and so... A lot of that shit's incredible to watch now, though, because it's just like, oh, these animators were just able to run wild and just do, like crazy shit.
There's a lot of racism and a lot of sexual assault.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you look back and you're just like, this is like, I feel dirty watching this.
And, like, some of it, like, it's my favorite thing to watch. Like, I love watching, like, old Looney Tunes and shit. Like, for me, it's like, this is, like, the high watermark of what comedy should be, you know? Like, it's just, like... Almost like avant-garde levels of nonsense. This was the preface, too, of you know, this was the very beginnings of animation and all of that. Like, these were pioneers. Yeah, dude.
I don't condone their personal life.
No, oh my God, no.
But
most of those dudes were monsters.
They were, yeah.
And most of them still are.
Artistic geniuses.
I mean, like, dude, they were artistic geniuses, like, making crazy shit, but then you watch, like, now, and we don't even get, like, artistic geniuses making crazy shit. We get fucking Sausage Party, you know, where it's like a movie that was only made because they could make it for like $30 million, which is cheap for animation. And the way they were able to do it was they just had Korean slaves. Like, genuinely, it was like, you're gonna get paid $3 an hour and work 30 hours or 60 hours a week to fucking animate this, like, dirty food movie. You know, like, God, that's awful.
Especially the end scene. It was like, this is a bit much.
Dude, it was like, that was the last time I saw a movie where it was like, do I go ask for my money? Like, I hate this so fucking much. This is not what I was sold. I was expecting fucking Blazing Saddles with food.
I was like, it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable, but that end scene made me uncomfortable.
No, dude, it read to me as just like, oh, it's the food fucking each other. It's like Seth Rogen telling you to go fuck yourself as you're walking out of the theater. Like, dude, what a bummer. What an absolute bummer.
That's like probably like the biggest fucking troll ever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like when you're just making a movie. It's like,
and then right at the very end, we're just like, fuck you.
Dude, I hated it. It's not even like that bullshit where I was like, I'm offended at the movie. It's just
like this isn't, like, okay, one, this isn't even funny. No. Because I can understand if, like, yeah, you might cross the line, but if it's funny, it's funny. I don't care.
If it gives you that guttural reaction.
But if it's not funny, and it's just weird.
Yeah. Then it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And that's so much of, like...
This isn't even shock value. This is like, this is weird. Like, I don't like this.
I feel like that's so much of, like, comedy, like, filmmaking, or, like, TV writing now, too, though. It's just, like...
It's so cringeworthy.
Yeah, I don't get what, like
the Jimmy Fallon doing the thing with Anthony Anderson. Is that his name?
I don't fucking know. Anthony, you mean from, like, Blackish?
Yeah, and then that was really uncomfortable to watch.
I don't even know, dude. I don't watch any
It was
of that
ugh.
late night shit.
The only reason I saw it was from like other podcasts and other shows, like showing a clip of it, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like most of that
How
shit.
How far are we gonna go with this?
I mean, most of that shit is just made for like 65-year-olds that don't watch any other comedy other than.
And they think that this is how. It's funny. Like, there's only like a very, very small percentage of people that are like overly woke.
Yeah.
And all that shit. Like, you go to any job site, any workplace, people aren't talking about this shit.
No, people don't
care. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, and
people know what's right and wrong.
Hey, well, woke's over now that Biden's president. like people don't care,
Yeah.
like we have said as Americans we do not care anymore. You know, like
we've given up a long time ago.
Yeah,
like
and that's why Biden's great. You know, there's so many things.
I'm glad Trump's out of there. Like, he's had his fun. You know, it's time for him. This country needs to take a deep breath and just.
Yeah, go back to brunch.
Just just chill. God almighty, everybody's so fucking tense. I feel like this is what this country needs.
Dude,
it's
gonna
be a breather for just a minute. A minute.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I am stoked to see how many people just like quit being on social media and like doing comedy because like their whole personality was built around Trump, and now they've got whether they hated him or loved him, like
because it's so it's so easy. You know, those jokes them jokes write themselves.
They're not fun. Like I'm so stoked that Biden's president because dude, shit's gonna get funny again. Like that's what I'm like stoked on is I'm like, oh, he's the funniest president we could have. It's just like some fucking like old dude with dementia that just like doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like he's just like, oh, you know what?
China's just running all over us.
No,
and
dude,
he's just like,
What's the thing is like both him
with his aviators and his double guns. Like
him and Trump are like the same because all they do is just fucking talk about China, and I'm like, who gives a fuck, man? Like our country is broken, and you're sitting here being like, ruin me. We gotta get at China, because China's got
because it's not because it's not each other. It's not us. That's the problem.
No, well that's the thing. It's like selfishness is so fucking ingrained in this. It's like a culture, That's like the American value. It's just like my way or the fucking highway.
Yeah. Like your whole world's like burning down around you, and it's like, nope, it's China's fault.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's so crazy. Is I'm like, oh, okay, like. So Biden's president, we're gonna be healed internally now, as America, like, but
Maybe.
like whatever, like
Maybe.
a bunch of people just not giving a fuck anymore. And meanwhile, Biden fucking loves the FBI and CIA, which Trump didn't give a fuck about, So it's like, oh, cool, we're gonna be
so many enemies. Like, it's like, dude.
Yeah, like
I'm so glad to see him out of there.
It's like when my like very like liberal friends would like talk about, it's like, what if he doesn't leave? And I'm like, I don't know, they'll kill him. Like we've done it to other presidents. Like, what makes you think that like Big Donnie's gonna be the one to like stop the CIA from putting tune in the back of his head?
Like QAnon is out of their mind. Like Trump is not rolling his sleeves up and fighting the underground fight for like
dude. See, that's what I'm wondering. What's gonna happen to the Q people now that he's like? Are they either gonna go away or is it gonna get like more intense?
They're gonna. That's why
because it's gotten so intense in like less than like 4 years, dude. Like it's crazy how that went.
Need to get a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, it went from being like this like conspiracy theory to like it's like a religion now.
Yeah,
like and that there was
and
just
then,
like
whenever someone like posts like hashtag save the children, they always associate it with Q, and it's like no, there are some bad things happening.
Yeah,
but like I feel like it cancels it out.
Well, they give false numbers where they'll say that thing where it's like over 1 million children are kidnapped in America every year, which like isn't true, or trafficked. It's like that figure includes like the main percentage of those missing children things are parents that have lost custody of their kids kidnapping their own children.
Right.
And that's like the main thing.
And trying to take them across
trafficking
state lines
includes labor too, and that's where a lot of it comes from is illegal labor.
And a lot of that is like, 14, 15-year-olds working, under the table, for cash, and they get caught.
And if you get caught, that's technically child trafficking.
Yeah, exactly.
And so a lot of people they read that number and they're like, I can't believe all these kids are sex slaves. It's like, if that were the case, every other house in America would have a child slave. Do you realize how crazy that is? And they don't. Like, you know, it's just this very surface level thing. And like, a thing that like COVID has done is like it's like Q-pilled so many people
because
so quickly.
No one has like, I have said this ad nauseum. Like, people need to get a fucking hobby. Like,
yeah, that isn't fucking watching YouTube documentaries.
And just like, it's not healthy to consume your life with politics.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you have like baby boomers being like, it's the millennials that are the problem. It's like, yo, you guys are the ones sitting on retirement watching YouTube documentaries all day, being like, there's a video of Hillary Clinton decapitating a child while nude.
And it's like, Obama's not an American citizen. It's like, okay,
oh,
here
God.
we go.
Dude, those are the funniest.
I can't listen.
We know that conspiracy theory, right? That his real name is Barry Soetoro. And he was a gay, crack-smoking prostitute that in D.C. that fucked politicians, and he was put in like.
That's the best one. That's the best one I've heard. That's
dude, they're hilarious. My favorite. That like the Obama conspiracy theories were the funniest because it's like, no, like here's like a litany of other examples of how this dude is a piece of shit as a president, but we're choosing to ignore all of that. Like, it's so funny how like many of these like far right like conspiracy psychopaths, it's like, yo, if you just pay attention like 10 degrees more to your left, you'll become like a radical communist like in a month, you know? Like,
it's really funny, like, because like Trump, like, I can understand the Trump effect like he had on all these people.
Well, yeah, he's so good at lying
because
publicly.
Everybody wants to feel a part of something.
Yeah.
So bad. And like, people ain't got shit going on.
Yeah, well, people aren't connected. Like, there's like been all these like studies that have shown that it's like most people like around our age don't even have like a friend circle.
Right.
Like, you know, they might know like one person that they see every now and again.
And that's maybe like that's the person they hang out with that they work with.
Yeah, it's and that's very like weird to me and scary. Is that it's like, yo, you don't like. So much of life is built around like experiencing like friendship and relationships. Forging like bonds and relationships with people.
That's what a lot of careers are based off of, are relationships.
Exactly.
With people. That's how you advance, and you know, a lot of certain situations is relationships with people. Yeah,
and it's very sad where it's, you know, like as like from my perspective of being someone, you know, that has been politically active since I was like a teenager. And very farther left than most people, you know? I have like learned that it's like when people are like, oh, there's like a radical left uprising in America. It's like, no, there's not, because nobody's fucking organized, man. Like, if there was, you would know, because it's like, there's not gonna be a radical left organizing when most of my friends that I know that are quote unquote radical leftists don't even own a gun, you know, like, let alone multiple. And it's like,
there was a special forces guy or something like that who was talking about it, and he's like, we're too fat for war.
Yeah, no, we're so unmotivated. It's like, you know, if we had a civil war in America, it would be 12,000 people against like 8,000.
Yeah, you know? and then it would be like, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean, then it wouldn't happen. Like,
look at these fucking Boogaloo boys, you know, or whatever, like whatever fucking side they're these like libertarian fucking dudes, and it's like, look, there's like, there's a lot of them, but it's like
you have to pay. It's kind of like a fraternity. You want to pay for
that.
Friends?
That's the new way for friendship, you know. It's just like you go hang out with your boys, you wear a Hawaiian T-shirt and Kevlar vests, and you hang out with your assault rifles out in front of Target, you know, to protect America. I love that, dude, where it's like, yo,
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, we gotta fucking protect rack room shoes.
It's like, bro, you need to get fucking laid.
Dude, I can't have a black teenager breaking down a wall and stealing these Skechers. You know, like, I don't want that. It's like, what are you talking about? That doesn't exist. Like, I feel like people were so shocked to see that like the Biden-Trump thing wasn't like a landslide, you know? But it's like, do you know how many fucking... Yeah, and they're my family. So when I can say this with love when I say fucking morons believe that like Antifa is taking over the streets in America because fucking CNN or Fox News tells them that. It's like, yo, that doesn't exist. Like they literally took 3 clips that happened miles apart from each other and fucking spliced them together to make it seem like there's a bunch of like, you know, anarchists that are like just... Oh, it's so fun.
That's like I was saying, there's a very, very small percentage of people that are actually quote unquote radical, it's not like how the news says it is. Like,
No.
where it's like rampant.
No, and
no
that's
one,
the thing. The Trump administration.
No one talks about
yeah.
it. I asked my mother about it, and she's like, "What's Antifa?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "You just made my point right there."
And that's what's funny is she doesn't pay attention to that shit. But it's like, you know, I mean,
There's
people
no one
just like fucking
gives
pop
a
on
fuck.
Fox News and Trump's on there talking about like Antifa, and they're like, "Oh, this is a real problem." You know, I go see my grandma, and she's like, "Crime's really bad downtown, right?" And I'm like, "No, there's a lot of black people downtown." Like, that's like what you're saying, you know? Like, it's just you're propagandized this like bullshit that just like the real issue is the wealth gap that we have in this country that's like continuing to divide us.
It's not white against black, it's rich against poor, and I've said that since day
But they want us to be
fight
the
against
line.
they want us to fight amongst each other.
They want me
so
to fight. They want me to fight my MAGA neighbor.
Do.
You know, and it's like my MAGA neighbor is not the fucking problem.
We're both poor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, my fucking dad's like, but Biden's tax plan, and I'm like, yo, dude,
you don't have to worry
you're
about
middle
that.
class. Like, this is not going to affect you.
Yeah.
Much less that tax plan's not even gonna fucking happen because the Senate is now Republican. So guess what? Nothing's getting fucking passed.
Exactly.
Dude. Like, we're at a standstill for the next 4 years.
That was the real battle, not the presidency, because that's just table dressing.
For sure, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's who controls the Senate, who controls the House. That's what gets shit
Dude,
moved as a country.
and Republicans like were the overwhelming like majority getting like voted in, you know, in these like battleground like states or whatever. Where it's, I mean, dude, fucking North Carolina, this state, we had a Proud Boy elected, you know, like that's wild. And
we should be talking about that.
Yeah,
not the
dude,
presidency.
Do you know how many people that I've mentioned that to, like, this past week
They
that
have
had
no
no
idea.
fucking idea? And I'm like, look, just because it's not here, it's in fucking Chapel Hill, which is supposed to be this liberal oasis or whatever, they now have a Proud
Which
Boy
is supposed to be
representing
one of
them.
the most prestigious colleges
Yeah.
in the nation.
Yeah, and that fucking county is supposed to be, like, blue, you know,
Yeah.
apparently, but it's just, like, Wilmington is technically more blue than them or fucking Asheville, because, like, when we go back...
We voted for Biden, as New Hanover County, Biden won.
Dude, before that, New Hanover County was the only county in all of North Carolina that Bernie won by a wide percentage. Like in the primary.
People love Bernie in Wilmington.
Yeah.
I love Bernie.
What's not to love, man? Like, you know, I feel like even if you're the most like centrist person, you don't even know what he is. If you just list out what his policies were, you're like, yeah,
You're like,
this
why
makes
wouldn't
sense.
you want that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, it's so crazy and it's so achievable, but it's not gonna fucking happen.
Right.
You know? That's the fucking bummer. That's what I have like learned in my short time on this earth, and that's why I'm like, look, I'm gonna go get 4 acres out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and I'm just gonna focus on building up my home life. You know, like, and try to
that's
improve.
what a lot of people want to do. Right?
Yeah, just improve my life and the lives of other people around me. You know, because I'm not gonna be able to fucking. Like, 'cause according to a bunch of people, I am the enemy of America, you know, based on my politics. This is the enemy of America is right here.
You're the problem.
You
are part of the problem.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
I want to go down with the ship in the city.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
I want the world to be burning while I'm still have a mic in my hand doing stand up.
See, I'll commute into the city. You know? I'm like, I'll commute into the city.
Uber will there's still a lot of people that will still drive for Uber even when the world's burning.
Oh God, fucking Uber, man. Yeah, they just passed that big bill in California that went through that basically just gives like strips any workers' rights away from like Uber and Lyft employees to where now government mandated you will be a contractor for them and you will not get a living wage through Uber.
You know, Uber's a side hustle. That's what it was meant for. That's what it should be for.
Yeah.
If you're expecting to live off of Uber, fucking try harder in life.
Well, you're gonna be fucking working 60 hours a week, you know? Like, it's just
Like I don't understand. Like really.
And
like
if you
that's
don't-
all you want to do with your life is just drive Uber. That's all the aspirations you have in your life. Fucking try harder.
Well, man, you used to be able to be a fucking cab driver and that could be your living, and that's a dope fucking living, but they've stripped all of that away now.
Yeah, and that was a union at one time.
Yeah, well, they got rid of unions because they propagandized us as Americans to make us think that unions are the enemy. You know, that this, organization that cares about your rights as a worker is the thing that,
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Is rights and safety and, guarantees for workers.
No, we got to deregulate, dude. Continue to deregulate.
It's, like I said, big corporations are...
That's what's ruining everything, you know? Like, and I mean, that's not the fucking
and they don't have American interests because they have different ventures overseas in different countries. So so America is not their first priority.
No,
and that's what runs the country, unfortunately.
Their first priority is just making.
We're gonna go
profit.
deep on this show. I don't.
Yeah, let me, as a stone 2-time college dropout, explain to you how deregulation in California has ruined that state. You know, like. It's just like, I mean, dude, that's why those wildfires happen out there, is because they've privatized the water, they've privatized electricity, and so, like, the electric company can be like, oh, your county didn't pay their bill on time, so guess what? Your power grid is fucking shut down until further notice. And it's like, cool, and this is the America we wanted.
They say they did away with monopolies, but dude, power companies aren't monopolies.
Oh, it's all
We have one in New Hanover County. We have one. Same way with the water. They could they could literally charge whatever they want.
Or do fucking internet.
It doesn't matter
service, like
how much power or how much water you use every month. They're gonna charge what they want to charge.
Exactly.
Like it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
And
ain't nothing to do about it.
Dude. And exactly. And that's why I fucking live out in the country now, and I'll watch Bob's Burgers when I get home from work, and I'm like, look. This is a perfect world that they live in, where these things don't happen.
Yeah.
And it's just jokes, folks. It's just jokes being written on there, and they're not trying to make a fucking statement.
That's a lot of why I feel like what we do is going to outlast everything. Because no matter how bad things get, people are still gonna want to laugh.
Yeah, well, like, I literally...
People are still going to want to be entertained.
I had a comic message me probably like a month and a half ago because they were getting ready to do their first show since quarantine. You know, like 7 months or something. And they were like,
there's no way I could wait that fucking long.
They were like, hey, you've done a handful of shows. What is it like? Is it weird? You know, are people weird right now? You know, because this is before the election and everything. Yeah. And I was like, no, man. I was like, most people that are coming out to shows are people that work just as much as me or more so. And they are just getting out because they don't give a fuck. Like, they just want to
take
laugh.
Their mind off.
Yeah,
and
folks
be
just
entertained and laugh for an hour or two. And, dude, that's why I'm putting on that show on the 19th.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like people want to go out and do stuff, but there's really nothing going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. And especially these like outdoor like gigs, it's like I'm comfortable with that, you know? Like I don't think I would be necessarily comfortable like going into a fucking cramped ass comedy club with low ceilings where it's just like you're fucking breathing in everybody's fumes. It's like I'm not cool with that, but I'll fucking do your outdoor show, you know, with a handful of people that just want to fucking relax.
Yeah, I'm doing kind of like smaller, like 40 to 50 crowd shows and stuff like that, and that's perfect. I don't want any more than that.
Yeah, and everybody's just learning again, you know, like they're just, whether you're learning how to do comedy again or you're just learning how to socialize around people again, like you're just trying to get out and fucking relax, and nobody is like really that high strung, you know? Like
I've noticed that, like I do the Monday night open mic a lot, and past few weeks I've pushed the boundaries, of what I can and can't say on stage. It says it in the
name, dude. Unfiltered.
And I've really gone pretty hard lately on stage, and people love it.
Oh, same. People love it. I did a show Wednesday night. And you know, so the night after the election, so everybody's just like on fucking pins and needles, and I have to close out the fucking show. And man, I literally just spent like my first 5 minutes just making jokes about Joe Biden, and like they went over so well, and I was like, cool, like America will be okay again. Like I can make jokes about a president, and everybody's fucking buttholes don't tighten up, either because they're worried there's some MAGA psycho in the fucking crowd, or like they just heard that punchline said to fucking death because there's only a handful of jokes you can make about Trump that he already fucking made on his own.
Right, exactly.
And it's just like, fucking Trump isn't funny. Like, I mean, he's funny as a person, but making jokes about him is never funny.
It's really hacky.
Yeah, well, it's like
opinion.
unless you go like so absurd.
Because nobody, like, of course, like, people are going to agree with you when you say Orange Man bad.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. You know, and then unless you say it, and then you have that fucking one guy that's like, no, yeah, no, and they just like fucking have like this little like fucking spectrum-y fit where they're just like, no, like,
well, actually, the economy's going around. It's like, dude, these are just jokes.
Dude, every time someone brings up to me, he made the economy better, I'm like, are you a fucking child? And like, what are you talking about? Like. We are on the precipice of another economic collapse. And it's gonna happen while Biden's in the office. And I can't wait for people to be like, look at what he's done. Look at how he's ruined the economy. And it's like, no, the economy was already fucking ruined. We put a fucking like Band-Aid over a leaking dam. And we're just waiting for the levees to break.
If Trump would have done another 4 more years, this country would have maybe been too far gone.
Oh my God!
I think this country would have been too far gone.
I think we're almost too far
gone. I'm glad we got Biden in there. This country needs a little time.
Dude, there's so many times that like there's so many statements where like politicians were like Biden, he's so good at speaking at funerals. And it's like, yeah, that's perfect for him to be president then, so we can give the eulogy for this fucking country. It's just like slowly just gets that drip in the old folks' home. As we just like slowly die, like going to sleep, It's not gonna be with a fucking bang. We're gonna go out with a whimper. Like it's gonna be like we're
gonna limp across the finish line.
Oh, for sure. We've been limping since fucking Reagan was in office, dude.
Like ever since crack came out.
Yeah. And ever since the Contras, with this little help from the CIA, decided to spread crack into America.
Yeah, back in the 80s was when people were like, wait a minute, the government doesn't have our best interest.
Dude, do you know how many fucking people I still talk to that are like, Reagan was the best president we've ever had?
Like, are you a fool?
Yeah, it's like Reagan is why we are at where we're at right now. Like, he was like, we're going to deregulate everything. Like, mental hospitals, let's get rid of them, let's privatize them. And
that's
it's like,
why you see a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them do have, and I've said this so many times on the show, like a lot of the people that are homeless, like they have mental illness. Like
they can't work.
They can't work. They can't.
Or they're
on their own.
They're either like mentally ill or like physically like have like a handicap that stops them from getting a job. Like,
and then like they defunded all of these mental hospitals and places like that, and they just kicked them out. And
that was Reagan's big thing.
And they just like, waited on them to murder somebody so they can put them in jail.
Yeah, it's so crazy, and that's why I am thankful. With the very thinner than dental floss silver lining that we have had in this election is the decriminalization of drugs, like in Oregon, or the legalization of marijuana in a lot more states.
To understand. Now that doesn't go for the distribution of those. Narcotics,
you get caught.
Which are the real sociopaths because they're benefiting off of people's addiction.
Yeah, but it is good if you're a fucking homeless dude and you get caught with a little bit of fucking meth or whatever.
Right.
Like they're not gonna lock you up where you just like detox and have a mental breakdown.
And that's the thing. And unless you're like detoxing, and I know this unfortunately firsthand.
Yeah.
Unless you're detoxing off of alcohol or Xanax in jail, they're not going to give you shit. Like if you're detoxing,
you can die
off opiates or anything.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, fuck you.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't have the $100,000 to go to a facility to get this taken care of.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to die in this jail cell.
So you can get on a comfortable methadone taper or a Suboxone, so whatever taper.
Yeah. And
just comfortably be weaned off of your opioids for 30 days, and then you get a robe and sit by the pool.
For real.
99% of people don't fucking have that.
No, they don't. We don't have the luxury to have that.
Yeah.
Even if you're fucking middle class,
no,
it's like, what are you going to go into debt?
We accept all major credit cards.
Yeah, it's so fucked up, dude. Yeah. No, it's wild how we just like completely put like a blind eye to that, and we like Wilmington
up under the rug.
Yeah,
and we're like we see this little hump building, and we're like, we're just gonna keep cramming it under the rug until something bad happens.
Yeah,
That's America.
And, you know, people here like locally want to be like, well, Wilmington, it's a problem. You know, it's like, no, it's a problem in Pennsylvania.
Everywhere.
It's a problem in this state. It's a problem all through the Rust Belt of America. You go to plenty of cities and or towns in like Kentucky, you know, and it's just like, it's been
so bad there because
when your mining industry shut down, you know, and now you don't have work,
you're
you know,
disability.
you're on fucking disability because of back problems
and then you get 180 Roxy 30s a fucking month,
and it's amazing.
And then they start to cut back on how much pills they're giving out to people, and they got to have it, and it's so.
Well, especially with all that shit, like they lied about the side effects, you know.
They said it wasn't addicting.
Yeah, they said that with Oxy, and it's just like
this is heroin.
Yeah. No, it is heroin, you know? It's like the first time I did Oxy, I was like, oh, yo, I don't have to do heroin. Like, it's just like I can just take a pill, and I can just sit here and watch Moonrise Kingdom while I scratch my body silly.
That's how it was when I did methadone, dude. I was just do like that. Whenever you see me, like, that's when you knew I was getting off.
Dude, yeah. No, for sure. It's crazy. Like, I remember when I was...
That was my tell-all, was that right there, the nose scratch.
Well, shit was, like, so easy to get for, like, years.
You could, like, pay, like, $12 a pill for a 30, and it was, like, I want all of them.
Yeah, you take that, you break that pill in half, you know, and now you $6 for a day, you know, for just to feel amazing for 10 hours, you know, and it's just like, it's so easy. Like, I was fucking like 20 years old, you know, and just being like, well, this is cheap, you know, it's as cheap as buying acid, but I can do my job.
And then, like, that's how I got on, unfortunately. I got hurt playing baseball.
Yeah. And
I took them as prescribed, and then I, you know, got better, and then I took them, and I was like, oh, I got energy, I can do shit, and then it just went.
Yep. Yeah, man,
like it's quick too.
Oh
the tolerance you build up is fucking wild.
It's easy too. That's how fucking scary it is. It's just how easy it is, and that I am like thankful that, and maybe it is just the people I surround myself with are like smart enough to know which way the wind is blowing, you know. But it is just like I feel like I've seen a marked drop off in the people that I like see using anything like that, you know, or even using like most like harder drugs in general, because it's just like yo, like most shit now it's like yo, you better have a fucking test kit on you with like the amount of like fentanyl.
Fentanyl's in everything now,
dude. Think how many fucking like just like celebrities alone. Yeah, like dude, there was a fucking like DC comic a couple years ago that just was like, you know, not a fucking like normal dude like me, you know, or it's just like, oh, got a little extra money, buy a little blow, you know, little treat myself for the weekend. Fucking takes that blow, chops up a line.
And as a comic, that's not crazy that we do a little blow on the weekends.
No, and I don't do that anymore. You know, if you're in my family or, you know, you're my employer for whatever reason, you were watching this and you've gotten this far in, don't do any of that, ever. Don't fucking touch the stuff. I just smoke weed. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all I do, you know? But, you know, when you do, like, I really, like, I don't do it, like, that is a big reason why I'm done.
I'm very particular about who I get it from.
Yeah, well, like anything, like outside, because it is just like it's so. I mean, dude, it's killed celebrities, you know, where it's just like, yo, this celebrity was buying coke and died. You know, fucking Mac Miller was going to just buy coke.
If an A-list celebrity is dying off of a drug that they bought from.
Dude, if you're an A-list celebrity and you don't have a taste tester, like you're a fucking king, you know, like that's what you need, you know.
Right. I feel like that's why a lot of the rock stars live, because I feel like they did have.
You have a little tester, you know, and you let your fucking little guinea pig OD in your living room, you know. They don't give a shit, you know. He's a roadie. Who cares?
He picked the guy up off the strip, you know, just dump him right back off.
Who gives a fuck? You know, we'll put a different guy in
a
denim vest.
Put a newspaper over his head on the bus stop.
Yeah.
No one will know for days.
No, we'll get a different guy with a denim vest and a Guns N' Roses t-shirt on. You know, who gives a shit? And then go either way. That could be a Sunset Strip hair metal guy or a member of Lil Uzi Vert's entourage. You know, at this point.
Give him a Thrasher shirt and nobody will know.
Yeah, nobody knows the difference anymore. They all dress like they're in Motley Crue now.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I am, depending on how, I don't know how the COVID regulations are going to go.
Yeah,
in the next few months. But in March or April, I get another week of vacation time, and I was thinking about like me and getting like another comic or two to come with me to LA for like 4, 5, 6 days and try to hit as many mics as possible. And I know a few people there that we could, lay up with and shit like that.
Man, fuck LA. You just do the fucking road show and just like you can get actual shows with a crowd like anywhere across America without having to fucking go to LA and wait an hour and a half in line to do 2 minutes at the fucking Comedy Store.
Dude, that sucks. Because I feel like 99% of the people there have never really done comedy.
No, it's just a bunch of schizophrenic dudes that want to go get stage time, dude. It's like, I'm a celebrity, man. I fucking smoked meth with Dave Chappelle. Like, it was 25 years ago, but, I was a comic for a brief period of time. Like, that's like all those fucking cities are like filled with, man. It's like, I've had so many people tell me, don't move to LA unless you have a job in LA.
Right,
yeah. Like, what's the point?
Like, I remember, this is really funny. So, this is a funny story. So, me and 2 other Wilmington comics, I'm not going to say their name, I was at a bar down the street, and I was up there drinking with my dad and his roommate. And I had eaten an 1/8 of mushrooms and done 1 double stack of ecstasy that evening. And we went out to the little dive bar down the street to have a couple beers. And there was a guy playing guitar, and it was like, I don't know, like 7:30, 7:45. And I said, hey man, when that guy gets off, do you care if I go up there and do a few minutes of comedy? And the bartender was like, I don't care.
Oh, you told me that.
And oh, man. So I called blank, and then I called blank. And I said, dude, y'all come up here, I got a mic going on.
Oh, God.
on 1/8 of mushrooms and a double stack of ecstasy.
Dude, have you performed like on mushrooms before? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did it one time and I had a full-blown panic attack on stage.
I had a blast.
Dude, I hate it.
I had a blast.
Good for you, man.
I got heckled. And
did the audience have a blast?
No. No.
Yeah, of course not.
Like immediately.
You guys ever notice how green is?
But like it started to go good, and then one of the old the boomers that go up there every fucking day at
the regular, you're ruining their day by doing comedy.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even want to see fucking comedy that night.
No, most people don't.
So I just started attacking everything they loved, and them and everything.
That's how you ingratiate yourself.
And then, while the show was going on, the owner of the bar...
Show's a loose term.
Show is a loose term.
While I'm berating this crowd with a microphone.
While Blank was on stage performing, someone had called the owner, and he showed up and yanked the microphone out of Blank's hand and was like, "What are you doing up here? Blah, 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 blah." And I was tripping my face off. And he had brought some big gorilla guy up here, and he was like, "That's not cool. I know Dave Chappelle, and I know Dave Attell, and they wouldn't do anything like that." In my brain, I go, "Well, do you know any more famous Daves? Because you're full of shit." And because I said, "You don't know Dave Chappelle because he would bring a PA speaker out to the park and just do random comedy, so you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And dude, after that, it was time to go.
Oh, yeah. No, they weren't like, you know what, you're right. Why don't you get up there?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, you're tripping right now? You're candy flipping right now? Cool, why don't you go get up there? Why don't you have your fucking pacifier in your mouth? Dude, you took drugs to go to, like, Ibiza,
That's not where it was.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm trying to hang with the boys, Dude, I'm never on Molly, like, hey, let's do some fucking comedy.
Dude, I've done comedy on literally everything you can think of. God. The 2 years I've been doing it.
So you've been doing it for like 6 months then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I've been actually doing comedy for 6 months. The first year and a half was
I used to go up
sucking so hard.
I used to go up on stage like stoned all the time, and since coming back from like quarantine, every time I get on stage and I am stoned, at some point in my set I have to announce that it was a mistake. Like I'm just like, why? I don't remember where my momentum is. Like I haven't. I could start out strong, and it's like I just like premature ejaculate like every time I'm on stage now, and then just like the last couple minutes is always like, well, I've completely lost you guys now. Like I just need to get back. Like,
I got comfortable.
I'm so out.
I did North Carolina's Funniest, only drinking like a beer and a half, and then I did.
That's the way to do
the ILM Comedy Kickback after drinking a beer or two, and I fucking killed both those shows.
Yeah.
And like, but that's also after I've bombed for a year.
Well, yeah, there's something to just be like, you are better sober.
Yeah.
You know, like me a year ago would have been like, go fuck yourself, man. But like, it is
I'm starting
true.
to learn, like, this is...
Yeah, and there's that happy medium, you know, like taking a hit from a bowl, like 10 minutes before you get up on stage, just a nice little hit to get a little buzz going. That's nice, you know, because for me, like, if I'm just like got a nice little buzz, it keeps me like self-aware.
Keeps the flow. I feel like it keeps a good flow going, but if I get too high, I get a case of the ums.
If I get too high, I start focusing on the crowd way too much. And so if I'm comfortably stoned, I focus on them in a way where it's like, well, that person in the back corner is not laughing. I'm going to try to get them, you know? Like, I'm going to figure out what gets them going. But if I'm too stoned, then I'm like, everybody hates me. And I'm like, why does everybody hate me? I just told a joke about blowing a guy underneath like a bypass. Like, why isn't everybody cool with that? You know, and it's just like, well, maybe it's not a very universal thing to talk about. like maybe you should
maybe know the audience a little.
Yeah, maybe know your fucking zone, buddy. Yeah. Like I go into the bathroom mirror every time.
I try to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Depending on how I feel. Like during an open mic, I'll get shit faced.
Dude,
and I'm like, let's try out some new material.
Who gives a fuck, man?
Exactly.
And especially, you know, there's 10 people there. Fucking have fun, you know. Figure out.
I quit after about a year into doing comedy. I quit caring what people thought about me. I don't care.
Well, that's a big part.
I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for y'all.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you recognize that, because I feel like the thing so many like comics or just like creatives, whatever you do, forget is what a selfish fucking pursuit it is. You know, where it's just like, no, you're doing this for your own gratification.
Yeah.
You know, like. And if the audience vibes with it and is into it, that's a fucking bonus, you know? But it is just like, look, you really are just trying to like scratch that little itch, you know, in the back of your head that's like, look, I have to do this. And that's what makes it like...
I don't do this because I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fucking work. And that's what like weird to me, where it's like when, you know, newer comics, and I'm sure you asked me at some point, were like, how do you like write? Like, what do you do to write? And I'm like, I don't like sit down and
I can't. See, I don't.
But some comics need that.
And everybody writes differently.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't think I've ever asked anyone how they, because everyone's different. Some people like a computer. I have to physically sit down and write my shit.
Yeah.
And it's not. I can't be like, okay, I'm gonna write today at 8 o'clock, and
the mood will strike you.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's why I keep. I have like a little mini one I keep in my back pocket all the time, and if I see something funny, I write that shit down. But I can't schedule the time like, okay, I'm gonna write from 8 to 10, and I'm gonna get like, no, I can't do that.
No, and I know comics that are like that, and they're great comics, you know. And it's just, and I know other comics that meticulously keep track. They handwrite out every set that they do. They have that archive, like they record every set, like. And that's the thing is, you know, like I'm not a fucking gold standard to look to for anything. Like I don't have a video of me doing stand-up in the past 4 years.
Really?
Like, I hate my comedy so fucking much that like I don't even record my sets. Like, and I'll have people, you know, like Cameron or whatever, that'll be like, hey, I'm recording mine, you want me to just keep it rolling after? And I'll be like, yeah. And then they'll shoot it to me in an email, and then I fucking delete it.
See, I watch my set. See, every like show, like real show I do, not open mic, like every real show I do, I'll record. Once in a blue moon, I'll do an open mic. I'll watch it one time, and I'm kind of like, I don't like really watching myself, but like,
I'd be a psycho if you did.
Yeah.
Like,
like I'll watch and kind of like, oh, okay, I need to cut that out. I need to trim the fat on this joke. I need to, my timing is a little off on this. I'll watch it one time and then I'll but I'll put it out there and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. No, and it's whatever like makes you fucking happy with that shit. That's so much of what like comedy. It's like, none of us are gonna be making a fucking living at this.
No.
It's a stroke of luck if you end up making a living at
it.
it.
And it's not gonna happen in the first year or 2 or 3.
No,
it's like 10 years to really be able to. That is solely your living.
It's genuinely just about finding a community of people that makes you happy. And if you don't have that, then quit comedy.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah, quit comedy.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it to make fucking friends. We're all losers. Dude,
I feel like dude, I don't like, I have a small I have y'all, the comedy, family.
Yeah.
I have y'all, and then I have a small friends group outside of that, but I'm not Mr. Popularity.
No, dude, I hang out with like my best friend and my fucking brother, because I'm like, those are my people, and then I
as you get older, you trust less and less people because people are just shitty.
Yeah, well,
you don't want to hang out with a bunch of different people.
And doing comedy, there's just this like luxury to it where it is just like, we fucking had like quarantine. I didn't see any of you motherfuckers for 6 months. I was happy. I was doing great, and then I fucking came back and did comedy, and I was like, oh, cool. It's great to see you again, and you're happy to see everybody, but it's also just like, look, we all know what's going on here,
We're not. Yeah. I hate it for the people that are delusional.
It's like when you're, a cam girl, and you have other friends that are cam girls, and it's just like, look, we just catch up every now and then.
We know what the deal is. We'll share each other.
But we're all getting fucked in a different way,
Yeah. We don't do this because we have a master's degree.
No. And the comics that do have master's degrees, they get
fucked up in life.
Yeah, or they're just as mentally ill as like we are, but motivated.
They're not funny. They look at it as like a calculated thing.
Dude, there's plenty of people I know that have like degrees that are funny, but it is like a thing where
it's very calculated, and it's like.
Well, they're not a loser like we are, Like we're smoking cigarettes in your living room right now.
That's what Sean said. He goes, I'm glad you're a special kind of white trash that still smokes inside.
Dude, I love it. I feel like I'm in fucking E.T. right now, where it's just like we're gonna smoke cigarettes and drink Pepsi. Like this is great. I love doing it. The whole place I was living at, it was just like it's cold outside. We're gonna open up the fucking windows. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette while I fucking watch a movie.
Yeah, like this. I have a small little niche cult following that I cater to, and I'm very grateful for them.
Hey, good for you.
I love them. I love every single one of my fans to death.
Fans, dude, good for you. I'm so hyped that you. And I do not mean this as like a cunty slide hat off. I love that you have that type of ego, that you can think in that way, because I am just like, look, this is just a normal person who enjoys seeing me when they see me, but they don't give a fuck about me. Like nobody, I just am so I wish I could break it. I wish I had ego behind my
that's
comment.
how I was before I started doing stand-up. And then I started doing stand-up, and I've never had a problem getting women in my life. My whole world can be burning. My whole world can be burning down around me, and I could still get laid.
Yeah.
But when I started doing comedy, it was so.
You got laid less.
No, I got laid a lot more.
Anytime someone
I got laid a lot more.
Oh yeah,
a lot more, and I'm like, oh, people kind of enjoy this.
Yeah, no, it's weird, at least for me, because I'm so, so much of my comedies, I don't know what to fucking talk about, because I'm a bad writer, so I just talk about myself. And so I just end up, talking about, sex and drugs and death, And so...
just, self-deprecation and stuff?
Yeah, I guess so.
But, I don't know, like you said, I do have that ego about me. Yeah. Where
we're recording your podcast right now.
Exactly. It's weird. I have this and I'm sure a lot of people are like this. I hate myself, but I'm better than all of you motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally vibe with that. That's most comics though.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't try to be self-deprecating on stage. Like so much of what I think, and I think it's
Because
why,
I want
like,
to fuck one of you people after this.
I feel like is what makes me so divisive for like a lot of people is it is just like I realized probably 2 years into doing stand-up that it is funnier to be cocky on stage than it is to be like it is so much funnier to pretend that you are the smartest guy in the room.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's kind of like the Anthony Jeselnik thing.
Yeah,
where he's like,
but funny. But I get it.
Where he's like, I try to watch what I say, but it's hard because I'm so goddamn hilarious.
Yeah, no,
and it's like, but are you?
Yeah. I'm funnier than Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah,
and I'm more racist than Anthony Jeselnik. It's not ironic when I say.
Dude, there's so many fucking Wilmington comics where I'm like, how are y'all not popped yet? Like, y'all are fucking amazing. Like, y'all crack me the fuck up.
Dude, I think that so many, and I've noticed it, because this is such like a fresh scene down here, you know? Like, it's less than 15 years, and you know, it's growing. And I think the thing that I have noticed is with so many of the people that I started around the same time as, or that are like peers of mine, that have like moved, or they like travel more, they're all doing pretty well, you know, from where they like came
just
from.
trying to get out
and I think it is like a thing where for whatever reason there's a lot of funny people down here, and there's like a lot of funny people that are all very different from each other. Like I can't
but we all, it's crazy. Yeah, there's so many different, like you have like people that are so far right, so far left, gay, straight, black, white, whatever, in Wilmington comedy.
Yeah.
But all of us generally get along with each other.
Yeah, and everybody's so stylistically different. Like, I can't point to, like, a group of comics and be like, well, they all sound the same.
Exactly.
And when you go to, like, other cities, and this isn't a site, this is just how cultural things work, is it's like, oh, there is, like, a house sound to this scene. Like, there's a similar vibe that all these comics give off.
There's a category that they all kind of fall
where it's like, well, they sound like an amalgamation of these three headliners, you know, and like here, I don't really see that, you know, where it is just like I don't really see like a bunch of people where it's like, well, that guy's doing the fucking Canaan thing, and like this dude is doing this shit, and I don't really see very many people even where that's like a problem coming in, where it's like, oh, they just sound like this more famous comic, but they're figuring shit out. I don't even really see that, which is interesting. Where and when you do see like a comic that like plagiarizes another comic's bit, they get called out.
I'm not gonna say. You know who I'm talking about. That's why he's not really doing comedy much right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's cool. Like I have the 7 people I have on the lineup for the show coming up on the 19th.
Yeah.
Like
everybody
is so different from one another. Everyone is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like, it's a good lineup.
Like the people that I picked, like y'all are the first selections, and every single one of y'all said yes. And
I feel like I'm always like a third choice, you know? It's like, well, we couldn't get like the other guys, so I guess we'll get Jack, who will make everybody either angry or
everybody everyone I asked said yes. And that's
great.
And that's everyone.
It's not like everybody's like, I gotta show that.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, there's literally something for everybody. Like no matter who shows up, you are gonna find a comic that
where it's like if you don't like this guy, like give it 5 more minutes, and the next person coming up is maybe it'll be a little bit more your speed. Like it is really all over the place, and that's what I love about doing like showcases. Though, like I don't really get when you program a show that has like a similar vibe.
Unless it's like 4 white guys all screaming about how fucking it is, how unfair it is.
No, yeah,
like that's bullshit. I'm not like,
dude. I always feel bad,
and if they do, no one's coming back.
Yeah, and maybe it is just like that, like remaining bit of just like liberal guilt, like built in me or whatever from my younger years. But it is just like I do feel bad when I am the 3rd white dude in a row at a show. And I'm like, well, I might be dirty and the other comics you just saw aren't, but really, what is different from any of us that we all grew up in the same middle class background? Our parents are still married.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we all have
my
a
parents,
similar vibe.
do you know what's really funny? I don't know if I ever said this on the show before. This is really funny. How I came to be, my parents got divorced, and then started fucking again.
Hell yeah, dude! I love when that
After
happens.
they got divorced, they started fucking again, and then
Like
that's
how
how I
long?
came
How
to be.
that's sick. I love when
Isn't
that
it?
happens.
And then like 2 or 3 months into my mother's pregnancy, she tripped acid, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm having a kid. I can't do this."
that explains so much, dude.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. No, but I feel like that is like your parents get along, or do they like?
Ooh,
No, not at all.
They
Like
haven't talked in 28 years.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild, dude. So like how long were they fucking like? Like what was the
Not
break
long.
in between them getting
Not long.
divorced?
Like
and,
they got.
you?
I was born in '92. They got divorced in like 90 or 91.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
And then like literally 6 months after I was born, there was just like.
And then they just didn't speak like after that.
They've never speak since.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Because but that makes that like I feel like it goes one or two ways with that shit. Where it is like they just never speak to each other again, or it is like there's like that weird bond that happens after.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I don't like you. We're
It's
gonna,
like
do this.
they go and like pick the child up like on the front steps, and they're just like looking at the ground, kind of kicking the dirt.
Yeah.
And it's like it's my weekend.
It's like we'll communicate by fucking letter
Yeah.
until he can speak. You know. Like I'll leave a postcard.
But
for you.
like it's weird. Like I have a great relationship with both of my parents.
That's sick
I mean,
though.
both of my parents are like I'm very close with both of them.
That's awesome.
But they do not speak. They don't want to be around each other.
I feel like most
They don't
comics,
hate each other, but
they just don't want to.
just-
They just
Exactly.
that's totally fair.
yeah,
That's good though.
There's no
you know?
animosity.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but there's gonna be, like,
yeah.
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
You have a kid.
there was some fuck shit. I mean, it was the 80s. Everybody was doing blow
Yeah.
and shit like that, smoking crack. So that's why I take, like, when either one of them tells stories about one another, I'm like, I take it as a grain of salt. Y'all were
Yeah.
smoking crack together.
Yeah, there's probably some truth in there, but how much?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, yeah, he might have hit you, but what did you say?
Jesus Christ. I'm not laughing at that. I am not unfiltered in this. I'm perfectly agreeable until I say something
man.
that everybody's like, you're not allowed to say that anymore. And I'm like,
I feel like I do a pretty good job of bringing everybody together.
yeah.
Because I have, like I said, I get a different array of people on the show. Just because I just love hearing different people's perspective on things. Like I'm an very open-minded person.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I think you have to be a passable comic. Even like, it's just like, I don't get when I see comics that are like, yeah, fucking cut this person out of your life, you can't do this, and it's like, what, so your audience is 80 fucking people? Like,
Exactly.
look, you can't, like, there's plenty of, I am pretty outspoken about what my politics are. Like, I don't talk about politics on stage really at all.
I do.
Except if I have a dumb joke.
I feel like the only time I've ever done a political joke is if like during the live show last week when we did the election night. I don't think I've actually ever done anything political on stage. Now that I think about
Most
it,
of the time it's not funny.
it's too easy.
Well, I try not to be preachy.
Well, not even that. Yeah,
You know,
'cause
that's
I'm the
the
last
problem. It's
person
like-
that needs to tell you.
And that was the
what
problem.
to like.
Like, my first set that I did after quarantine was just like, look, I'm not even going to try to be funny. I'm going to get all this energy and anger out that I have, and be
Built
and
up
give,
during
and just give
quarantine.
my fucking TED talk, and
and then
I'll
I'm
get
gonna
off stage,
leave.
and then I'll do a real set in a week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be funny, trying to talk about everything that's fucking happening.
My
right
first
now.
4 times back on stage, I fucking bombed like
Oh, yeah.
hard, and then the 2 weeks in a row before the ILM comedy kickback, I bombed very fucking hard. Like I did not get any laughs, no claps, no nothing.
Yeah.
And then I came to ILM comedy kickback and then fucking crushed.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Well, sometimes it takes being in
open
that
mic,
environment.
dude. Open mic, like I'm just, I know that I treat it as the gym.
Yeah, like, and that's like at an open mic, if some shit's happening, you know, I'll fucking try to make some jokes about it. I'm not gonna try to be fucking preachy, you know, but I'll try to just like make some dumb jokes. It's like when I did that show after the election, it's like, yo, I gotta talk about Hunter Biden, you know? It's like, this dude's my fucking homie. Like, it was just like, I fucking said on stage, I'm recycling a fucking bit, but I was just like, I'm so stoked to see my kind of representation in the White House, you know, where it's just like, here's a president's son who we have on video smoking crack while getting a foot job. And like that rules.
As crazy as that sounds, like, a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of boomers have kids that are all strung out on drugs, they've sent to rehab, all that shit.
One time I've liked Joe Biden, the one time, and I fucking voted for the fucker. The one time I liked him, and what made me honestly be like, I'll vote for that guy, is like what in the leaked thing, Hunter Biden like pictures.
I voted for
stuff.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, how can you not? Honestly, like, but fucking in those leaked things was a text between Hunter and Joe Biden, and Hunter texting Joe Biden. I'm just like, I might be getting I'm paraphrasing, but it was just like, you know, I'm sorry that I'm such a fuck up. Like, I'm such a loser. And Joe Biden responded and being like, you're not a loser. You're not a fuck up. I love you. And it was like, damn, he loves his fucking son. And you know what? Trump has never, ever said, I love you to any of his kids.
I don't think he said that to anybody.
No. And it was just like, I'll fucking vote for the guy. Yeah.
Maybe Putin.
Like, oh, dude, no. Not even fucking Putin. He's like, that fucking weirdo? Absolutely not. No, he said I love you after he's like came in a prostitute, you know? Like, that's the one time.
And it was a very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then he fucking
I love you, and then he just
throws her 10 grand.
And then he wipes his cum off with $100 bills.
Yeah, that's the one time. Fucking wipes his cum and piss off with $100 bills. He's like, go on your way, bitch. You know, like, that's... And it's just like, yo, I'll take it.
And then he just like adjusts his tie and then goes out on a rally like nothing happened. Like, that's a true American sociopath.
Yeah, exactly. They're both fucking sociopaths, you know? Like, whatever.
You have to be to think that you can be the leader of the free world.
Dude.
You have to be a sociopath.
Especially Joe Biden, where it's like, yo, I know I've lost a bunch of elections in the past. I know I've been caught plagiarizing other presidents' speeches, but this is my time. Dude, Joe Biden winning shows how much America hates Hillary Clinton. Like, where it's just like, that is how much we do not want the Clintons anymore.
Yeah.
That we're just like, Biden. Like, I'll take that guy and the black lady that'll throw black dudes in prison, you know? Like,
that's like, dude, I've said it so many times. I really feel like I didn't vote for Biden because I liked him. No, I voted for Biden because I'm like, this country needs a breather, man. Trump's had his fun. He needs to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, he's like successfully like divided America more than like any other president.
Yeah.
Like, where it was like, you know, motherfuckers, even if they're talking shit, they're still talking the shit of like, we're gonna get in a civil war. Like, I'm ready to kill my neighbor because I hate Orange Man this much.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, dude, I fucking hate Trump. How could you not hate the guy? Like, he's a little fat, prissy rich boy who spent his like week before the election doing a rally where he's like, you know, they call me a diva. They call me a diva. I'm not a diva. As he's dancing the fucking Macho Man, he's like,
and doing like it's like,
dude, just pumped full of steroids, like just like pumped
and hit with like full blown amphetamine sweats.
Well, did you see that picture that like came out like after he was elected? It was like a picture of him with the Sudafed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I knew you would fucking know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
How do you? Okay, this man's in his. Excuse me. I don't know how any man in his 70s with the diet he has can go on 3 hours of sleep a night doing this. Dude, without any kind of.
He's gotta have one of those guts that feels like a fucking rock. You know, where
the cast iron stomach.
Yeah, just like this huge, like he's just a fucking tree trunk of a man.
Dude, I had posted something on Facebook, and it was obviously a joke. It was a picture.
Well, on Facebook, it's not.
It was a picture of Trump, and he goes, "They tested my DNA. They said I didn't have DNA. I had USA." And then they blocked it and said that this wasn't. The fact checking found it. I'm like, this is a joke.
Oh, dude, I've had that, like, my Instagram.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Cuckerberg?
Dude, it's like my fucking Instagram is, I share, like, I let my politics fly on Instagram, you know, and it's like,
See, I trash both sides,
like,
because
yeah,
it's
like,
all hilarious.
Yeah,
me.
oh, me too. But it is just like, well, I'm gonna let my family know I'm a communist. Like, this is my way of letting them know. These are my, and so I share a lot of, like, you know, and especially like news stuff, like when the Bolivia stuff happened, you know, a couple weeks ago, with, you know, which was a big fucking deal. And half of the posts I shared, I was telling him that I have a bowl. Like half the posts I shared on it, before I shared them, it was like, are you sure you want to share this? This post has been flagged for like whatever reason. I'm like, this isn't even like fake news, quote unquote. This is something this is me giving like people I know that might know what is happening, like the bullet points on us staging a coup in a South American country to throw out a communist president, and like
it's not like it's the first time that this has happened.
Oh my god, dude, we've done it for the past, like, since World War II.
Yeah.
We were like our enemy
our
is
CIA are gangsters, dude.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like, I actually just finished a book that is incredible that I can't recommend enough. It's a very quick read. That came out this year, called The Jakarta Method. That is a history book, like not a conspiracy theory book or anything. It's just all factually based. No, like posturing on like maybe this is what happened. Right. Just all fact-based, interviewing people, not written by a communist, just like a dude who's like a normal journalist that was like, you know, been a journalist for America and South American countries for the past 20 years. And he wrote like this whole book that is like, look, we staged a coup in Indonesia to oust the communist leader that they had there. We installed a democratic leader that we put in place. We used death squads to do it. We executed thousands of civilians, and we have done this in about a dozen other countries since then. And it is like, this isn't fake news. It was like we propagandized an entire culture into thinking that we will fund the CIA, we will fund right-wing organizations, we'll have them dress up as these leftist protesters, and then we'll have them execute a bunch of people and make it seem like the leftists did it, they're the enemy, we need to get them out of the country.
That's creepy because that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, and we're seeing that happen in our own country.
And then probably 20, 30 years from now, it'll come out that there was method behind that madness.
Well, I mean, I go back and forth depending on how I'm feeling that day, whether I'm manic or depressed, you know? And it's just like, you know, with like the JFK shit, you know? Like, it is
because
like...
no one ever knows, and you get these little snippets.
Because so much of his policy was built around, very anti-communist, but also very much of the mind of these third world countries that are developing. We should not step in and shut down if they decide to have a communist government. We should work with them and support them in what they need and let them learn from their mistakes like we did as America. And since then...
And nobody stepped in and told us what we could and couldn't do, which is what we do.
And he was super unpopular with that. Like, he saw what, like, the French were doing in the Viet Cong, and he was like, that's not okay. Like, this country is revolting for a reason, and it is because they have been colonized and taken over by a foreign entity.
Because they're a weaker country.
Yeah, that is draining their resources. That is draining and profiting off the resources.
Which is what we do in the Middle East, which is why you see what you've seen in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, we
created ISIS.
We
created ISIS.
Yeah, we created the Taliban before that. We gave them their guns, like we funded all of that. We gave Osama bin Laden an education and radicalized him. Like,
once I saw all the documents and all the videos about the double tap drone strikes, that made me sick to my stomach.
And it should.
It made me sick to my stomach.
And the problem is I feel like there's not enough people that read into that stuff, and they don't want to read about it, and because it's not pretty.
Maybe it's maybe the first strike, you might have gotten a couple people that may have been attached to all of that, but the second strike, when you attack the grandmothers and the aunts
we
and
overwhelmingly
the children,
kill civilians more than any insurgents.
And that made me sick to my stomach, because I know that's not bullshit.
Yeah, and it's not. It's a very real factor of what our country does. And I know this isn't funny at all, but it is unfiltered, you know?
Exactly.
And that's the thing.
It
Is
may
that
not be pretty, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and we just like the thing that I learned is you can't fight against it, because anytime you do fight against it, you end up dead. You know? Like anytime any of those guys try to speak
you get suicided.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I keep on, that's gonna happen to me.
Dude, if only.
They're gonna be like, oh, Hunter died of a heroin overdose. We all saw this coming. I did not do that. It was them.
I would love to get to the point in my life where I get suicided. Like when Trump won,
you know you've made it.
Yeah. Well, like when Trump won, I made like a joke on Facebook that was just like, because it was like, you know, everybody being like, who's going to assassinate Trump or whatever. And I just was like, I really hope nobody kills the president, because Mike Pence is a way worse option than Trump, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's a competent psycho.
And
I posted that, and like my grandma, who's a fucking Trump supporter, like called me, and she was like, you can't post stuff like that online.
Why not?
And I was like, look, it's just a joke, and I'm telling people not to kill the president. And she was like, well, a friend of mine in Indiana was very outspoken online, and one day the FBI showed up at his house, and I was like, look, he was probably telling people to bomb abortion clinics in Indiana, if I'm being completely honest, based off of your friend demographic. So, like, I can guarantee that is not going to happen to me. And second off, if the FBI did come knocking on my door, that's the best thing that could happen to me as a comedian. It's like I hope that
my
happens.
career would take off.
Yeah. I love that I go on Instagram and post something in my story.
I want a black hood to be thrown over my head and me taken to a black torture site.
Dude, that
would make my career.
Yeah. That's great. When you're an enemy of the state, that's sick. Like, I would love that.
But I would definitely sell shows out if I.
That's what it's like. Look,
if I still had all my limbs,
yeah,
I could definitely sell shows out after that.
Oh, dude, it'd be great. Oh my God, you should be a veteran. Like I keep thinking, I'm like, man, I should just like serve for like 2 years, so then I can just become.
But then tell everybody how hard it was, even though I was probably some computer.
Oh, dude, I'll fucking Brian Williams it, where I'm just like, look, my plane was shot down and it was just really intense, and then like 5 years later, they're like, that never happened, and I'm like, well, I still got a career, bitch. So who cares?
Exactly.
Like I'm still on fucking NBC. Who gives a fuck?
That's the dream I one day want to achieve is to be status of enemy of the state.
Dude, I love it. Like, it's just like, look, I love living in this country. I love that I get to say whatever the fuck I want. But like, am I an enemy of America? No.
I love living here. Do you know what's funny?
I am an enemy of our federal government, CIA, FBI, and every Homeland Security.
I guess, quote unquote, shadow government, if that is even a real thing, maybe.
It was until George H.W. Bush became president, and then it was like, oh, it's just the government now. Yeah. Like when you have a former head of the CIA that is now president of the United States, it is no longer a shadow government. But like, there is, like, that's not like the problem. The thing that the media has been very good at is taking terminology like shadow government or false flag that are very real military terms and using them for
more things that need to be labeled back.
Turning them into conspiracy theory terms.
Right.
Like when
exactly.
a thing that I like really think about is I'm like, Alex Jones is a friend to the state of America. Like
he's
because
definitely pro-human.
Because what he is very good at is when he says stuff like Sandy Hook is a false flag, which is fucking crazy to say.
Yes.
What you are saying is false flag is a crazy term to say.
And that's what sucks is you have that kind of boy who cried wolf scenario.
Exactly. And so
because there's a lot of things that do happen.
Exactly.
And
we used a false flag to get into Vietnam. We used a false flag to get into, and if we really if we want to get conspiracy.
Say 9/11.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's plenty of declassified documents that show that we didn't do 9/11, but we let it happen.
We knew what was going on.
Yeah, and what our administration recognized was, hey, we can pass a lot of laws that we normally would not be able to
as far as
an
privacy
incident like this
and all
didn't
of
happen.
that.
Exactly, and what it is done,
and that's why I was saying it is
now made us okay
is
with
a very
being monitored.
slippery slope.
Exactly,
And then it's to where you see now, to where you can say something out loud with your phone in your pocket, and then when you pull your phone out, you see an ad for something you were talking about, and you're like, that's not, I don't believe in coincidences like that.
No, and it's like everything around us has become more and more deregulated, but our lives have become more and more regulated.
Yeah.
And
because like we were saying earlier about the corporations and like how they have invested interests in other countries besides ourselves.
Exactly, because all the
Especially
profit is over
China.
there. I mean, like you look at like one of the few good things Trump tried to do, and it's not even good. It's just fucking selfish, and spiteful, but whatever.
Yeah.
Is like he tried to withdraw, I believe 50,000 troops from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And our Congress.
And then he said ISIS was defeated.
And our Congress completely.
And it's like, why do we stop giving them guns?
Yeah, well, like our Congress completely rejected that, and it was ran by a joint task force of Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, who.
And he wasn't a peach.
No, and who still has investments in private military contractors, and it's like, look, all these Congress people didn't pass this because they have such an economic interest in the oil refineries that we have over there that we use our military force as security for. And not to mention that most of our military that we have overseas now is private military contractors that our government spends most of its money on. And I mean, the one thankful thing that we can say about Trump not being in office anymore is that we don't have Betsy DeVos, who is the Secretary of Education, whose brother is Eric Prince, that runs Blackwater, the private military contract
force. Which came out of North Carolina.
That's out of North Carolina,
by the way.
yes.
It came out of North Carolina.
And Eric Prince's whole thing is that he considers himself a modern-day crusader who was put here on earth by God to eradicate the Muslim religion off the face of the earth. So it's like, cool.
That's not good.
I'm glad that we don't have those people in our office anymore. And that's that's how you know that like QAnon is a conspiracy theory created by the CIA or whatever.
Chrissy Teigen is eating kids in a basement. I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
No, dude, well, like that QAnon shit, like fucking Eric Prince has like worn like a Q pin on TV and made allusions to it. Fucking Roger Stone brings up QAnon shit. And it's like, what did Roger Stone do? I don't know, maybe help George W. Bush get office by staging a fake protest in Florida around not counting the ballots down there, therefore leading to Gore not winning the presidency. It's just like, it's so blatant in your face.
That's when you're like, the Illuminati might be real.
It is, well, it is, but it's just that it's all run by
it's not like what
it's
we
government
think
spooks,
it is.
It's fucking like dudes that like don't really exist.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You've never heard of them and you never will.
No, because and I mean
we think the Koch brothers and what's that guy's name? They claim that he's giving money to protests.
Soros.
Yeah. They think he's running the... No.
But the Koch brothers do. Like, for sure. Like, they put so much money.
I feel like they're the front people for the people even bigger behind them.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Actually running the world.
Yeah, because it is just like...
We're not crazy. I think this is real shit going on. We're not crazy.
Well, there's so much... I mean, you just look at...
Maybe a little bit. But
yeah.
That's beside the point.
I don't think, like... Look, this stuff hasn't helped my mental health at all, but it is just like, look, I'm reading like declassified documents, I'm reading things that are like history books.
This isn't like a wiki.
Well, WikiLeaks wasn't
this isn't like a Wikipedia page I read this on. Like this is like actual government documents.
Yeah, and a lot of it is it's written in like history books that aren't written by they're journalists. Like they're fucking like people that are just as like culpable of like mistake and not necessarily on the same side
and putting their own opinion and judgment on it
but when you look at like just the straight facts, and you move beyond like any of that, it is just like, look, where I'm gonna look at like what these people have like done to our country, and it does seem to go back to these specific branches, you know, or
Mhm.
these specific people that did so much damage that isn't going to be fixed. It's like, look at how many like black activists our government has killed over the years,
dude,
or had some
like anybody,
or blackmail, you know.
Anybody who has made any kind of progress or has made any kind of difference as far as the like for the equality of black people has been taken down in one way or another.
Yeah. And so now you have people dancing in the streets because Kamala Harris won. And it's like, well, why don't you look at her track record of what she did in California and the amount of people that she put in jail over nonviolent crimes, the amount of damage that she did as like a DA in fucking San Francisco and shit. And you're like, yeah, this isn't your friend. Like, just like
This
we have
is the
successfully
lesser of two evils.
Yeah, we
is
have
what this
successfully
is.
swallowed the pill of identity politics.
Like, don't get it twisted when I say I'm glad Trump's out of there. That doesn't mean I'm thrilled about Biden.
No, and I just like, I hope that people don't get lazy and get complacent.
Which
and,
is usually what happens.
Yeah.
With stuff like
because
this.
their guy won, you know? But it does seem to be like a lot of people voted for Biden out of spite. And
just
it
because
does
they
seem,
didn't
or at
want
least
Orange
people,
Man
you know,
bad
in our,
back in
you know,
there.
at least people like in our age range, you know, that seem to like genuinely have like a concern over the well-being of where this like planet goes. And it's just like, look, it's a start. Like maybe we can
Right.
maybe we can get somewhere in 8 years.
That's like I've kept like this. We can take a breath now.
Yeah, well, it's the idea
For
that
a second.
Like, yeah, but don't get it fucking twisted. It's like Trump lost by a pretty narrow fucking margin.
Yeah, like I said, the Republicans still control
Dude,
the Senate.
and if COVID didn't happen, he would have.
He would have won by a landslide.
And I wonder what would have happened even if he didn't get COVID. Like if that didn't happen, maybe he would have fucking won. You know,
that's
because
a really good point too
look,
that I didn't think of.
Like people want to think that, oh, he said this has to have lost people. It's like, no, man. There are so many fucking people that don't pay fucking attention to anything, but they're like, hey, the economy's doing good. I have a job. I'm gonna vote for this.
So they don't
guy.
really care.
They don't give a fuck, dude. Like,
as long as it doesn't affect their little world, most people don't watch Fox News. Most people don't watch CNN.
no,
Like
for real.
it's
Most
a
people
very-
watch their local news. You know?
Yeah, they want to know. It's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I want to know what's happening in the neighborhood.
It's like, oh, they're putting a new flag in the park, and you know,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. Oh, there's a pie eating contest next month, and
And you know,
that's
like,
it.
I realize like that is why I also don't talk like I will talk about like politics if like the crowd seems like that type of crowd, you know, because it's easy to like read, and it's like, well, maybe I can like make you guys laugh and get you offended at like where it's like most of the time when I'm fucking talking about politics, it's like I don't believe the shit I'm saying, you know, like it's funnier to be like
a lot of this stuff. I love saying it because I know. The crowd knows I don't believe this.
Dude, you know how many times I said on
and
stage,
I'm saying
like,
this because it's funny.
yeah, it's like, you know how many times I said on stage, like, oh god, I love Trump. It's like, I hate Trump, but I love Trump. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's just
Yeah.
like
He's hilarious.
he is so.
He's hilarious.
That's the thing is, it's like he's so much. That is why he's like kind of killed comedy, is because it is like that thing of like he's so much funnier than anything that you could pretend that he would say.
Yeah,
Like,
his off the cuff.
dude, when
Like,
he was
he
fucking
should get into comedy.
dude, when
after
he was
this.
fucking roided out, like in the hospital, like just being like, economy has never been better, just like all caps, just like going at it. I was like, this is funny, dude. Like he's just like
there
he's
was
balling out.
definitely because there were like back to back tweets where it was like, oh, he's feeling good.
Yeah, dude, when he was just like, I want to get in the motorcade, you guys to drive me around so I can see all, like he's just like, I just want to wave at the people. Like when
That's
he was
so
fucking
funny.
just like roided out at his first rally after, he's just like, and look at all this crowd of beautiful men and women. It's just like, I could kiss all of you, even the guys. I kiss all of you. Like
I
it's
saw
amazing.
that. It's like,
It's so
wow.
dude. I was in tears laughing when I watched it. He's fucking walking on to Macho Man and just like, I
Just
love
like
you guys, you're so beautiful.
That whole dance he did, that
Dude,
was so
he was like
funny.
you being like, we're doing an open mic here. He's just fucking candy flipping, just like, we're going great, guys. He's just got a fucking pacifier in his mouth, just like wilding out. I loved it. Dude, when I saw him on that, I was like, he might win. Oh, like when I saw that, I was like,
dude,
damn.
Whenever I saw Alex Jones on Rogan with Tim Dillon, where Alex Jones was like, Donald Trump's going to win the election, I was like, maybe.
Dude. Oh, that dude.
I love Alex Jones.
Really?
I'm sorry, I love as an entertainer.
Well, I think he's
As
like
an
60. I think
entertainer.
he's done a magnificent job at like bringing this country into the toilet even more. Like, because it is just like, yo, like you talk all this conspiracy shit, but I feel like you're just a mouthpiece for the CIA. Like legit am like, you're compromised.
You're what's the word I'm looking for? You're making all the other conspiracies that are probably true a little degraded.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because
So-
it's like, yo, like that QAnon shit.
It takes the pressure off of them. We're like, oh my god, the people might find out about this.
Yeah,
And someone like Alex Jones comes in and says all this shit, and it's like, oh, that's a bunch of crock of shit, even though some of it might not be.
yeah, no, exactly. It's like, that's why that QAnon shit is so fucking brilliant. And why I'm just like, this is like a government psyop. Like, there's no way it's not. Because, like, what it has done has made the idea of you saying, hey, there's people in power that are sexual predators and child rapists.
And then when they say Chrissy Teigen's eating kids, and then
or are you saying fucking Hillary Clinton is
It
in a
makes it
basement of a
illegitimized.
pizza place, you know? And it's just like, look, the way I see it is growing up Catholic and growing up in the Catholic Church and seeing what that organization is that passes around child molesters from parish to parish. It's like, well, it happens there. It happens in Hollywood. It happens in the music industry. It has been proven in the past 10 years that it happens in Parliament in the UK.
And then
So
you
what
see
makes us so fucking special that it wouldn't happen here?
And then you see all these like kids that got rescued from Georgia and Ohio, and you barely see anything about it on the news.
Well, a lot of that wasn't even like it was fake, you know. It is like a thing where it's like,
Really?
yeah, or it
See,
was
I
like
thought-
it was
because
it was kids like rescued from like abusive foster care or something else, or these unlicensed things, and they
I
make
hate
it, they
that.
manipulate the information and
They-
make it seem, look, there was a cargo van full of children being sex trafficked with wearing leather daddy outfits, and it's like, are you a child molester? Why are you so invested in this? Like, it is a
Yeah.
thing where it's like, look,
Things
You
are,
got-
I think bad things are happening.
but not in
But-
this like comic book
Not-
way you think
not,
it is.
not the way that Trump's putting a cape on and he's rolling his sleeves up and fighting it
No,
himself.
Trump was
It's
fucking running Miss America.
he was doing it
fucking
himself.
Yeah,
Like, that's
dude,
what-
he's boys with Epstein. I keep bringing it up. It's like, yo, he got banned from Mar-a-Lago after he was arrested for human trafficking. And it was like, he got banned from Mar-a-Lago over a fucking petty grievance that Trump had with him. It
Yeah.
wasn't even over that. Like,
because
it-
Trump's a pet,
dude,
like that is
Clint-
a petty man.
dude, fucking
Once-
Clinton was
If you
hanging
ever
out
do
with
him wrong or say anything that he doesn't like he hates
Oh,
you
dude,
forever.
look at what he did with John McCain, where it was like they had to fucking, like, there's like the USS McCain or whatever, like, battleship, and they had to, like, cover it up because he was coming, and they're like, we can't let him see it or else it's all he's gonna fucking talk about. And it's like, I love that because it's like, hey, fuck John McCain. Talk
Yeah.
about dudes whose whole political careers were based off of fucking spite. And it was just like, you know, I love it. I love, like, the petty, like, infighting that he has. Like, I love reading an article in, like, The Atlantic, which is a bullshit rag to begin with. But the whole
Yeah.
thing being, like, the morale of the CIA and FBI has been down since Trump has been in office because he refuses to read the memos. He doesn't give a fuck about any of it. And I'm like, that's hilarious. That
Yeah.
it's just like, look, I don't care. Vanna White, what a bitch. What a huge bitch. And it's like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he cares about being a celebrity. He's gonna go fucking buy, like, OAN or some shit now, and he'll fucking be Fallon for Republicans. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's
Dude,
he gonna do.
That's, unfortunately, that's what late night is. And it is so cringy.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so, like...
Do you remember when Stephen Colbert was funny?
No.
Like, you would watch the Colbert Report, and you're like,
kidding.
he's doing a character.
No, I do
because it
remember
feels
that
like
he
so
was
long
funny.
ago. And
Yeah.
then I was thinking
Jon Stewart used to be funny.
Yeah. But sometimes those things I take as like you get old, not a touch. You know, like I watched the last Chappelle special or whatever, like, you know,
I
one from
enjoyed it.
last year.
Oh
And- and
wait, are you talking about the
not the George Floyd thing he put out, but like the
Sticks
like
and
that
Stones?
hour that he put out. Yeah, I think that was
enjoyed Sticks
see,
and Stones.
and I didn't care for it because I'm like, yo, he's in an arena right now and he's spending 20 minutes being like PC culture is ruining America, and it's like, well, it's clearly not because you're selling out an arena. Like it doesn't exist.
That's
Like,
why,
like
and
stop.
that's why Louis C.K.'s last special was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and so like when comics do that though, I always just am like, well, the next one will probably be better. You know, they'll get over this fucking hump. That's how it goes. You can't expect every
I
special
feel like
to
now
be a
that,
fucking
now that
banger.
Biden's back in, I feel like now we can kind of.
Dude, comedy's gonna get better.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude,
It
because
has to.
Biden
Now that Trump's
is
out, it's got
fun to write jokes about. Like immediately, I've been like, I like just doing a fucking Biden impression, which is just being a drunk guy. Like you just do a stuttering drunk dude.
Forgetting
And it's
what
just
they're
like,
talking
"Nah,
about,
I-
what we're doing.
I remember back in college, you used to go get a kissing booth. You set up a kissing booth and you know, the quad, you know, you can just grab any girl you want and give her a big old smooch and be like, that'll be a quarter. And he'll give you a quarter for a big old smooch on the face. He's gonna say some shit like that, you know? Like, I can't wait for his grab him by the pussy moment.
Oh,
it's like,
it will happen.
oh, dude, it's gonna be hilarious.
It will happen.
Because you know, like,
And it will be a
nobody's gonna-
creepy old guy moment, too.
Oh, dude, it's...
and it will be great.
Because it's like, you know, the thing that it is like watching Biden and Trump like debate, I'm like, oh, they're just both old bullies. Like that's all they are. Like Biden was just a
corn
fucking
pop.
Yeah, he was just a fucking
I
frat.
love
dude,
the corn pop.
love corn pop.
Corn pop was a bad dude.
You remember that? We used to have the rusty.
Bad
Yeah,
guys.
I love. What does he say? It's like, you know, you used to have the rusty straight razor. You know, you used to bang on the straight razor on the curb. You know, get it all scuffed up, so you get an infection when you swipe it with it. It's just, dude, I cannot listen to him talk for longer than 5 minutes.
The old man stories are so funny. It's like, you know, one of my buddies was talking about, threw her down and made love to her on the Davenport.
Remember, you used to take a train into the city. You know, you used to take a train
It
going
only
to the
cost a nickel to the service station.
And now nobody takes trains anymore. That's the thing I love about Biden is he loves mass transit. Like, all he talks about is fucking Amtrak. And I'm just like, yo, if he can get some more mass transit in fucking America, that's the
wouldn't
one
be
positive.
bad.
Yeah,
That wouldn't
dude,
bad
that'd be
at all
dope. Love it.
Because public transportation is crumbling in this country.
Well, on purpose.
Well, not in bigger cities.
But even there, they're
places
not
like
great.
here.
Like, they...
Yeah.
Like
Their
mass
infrastructure is not
transit
meant
used to
be
be
this
like
amount
mass.
of people.
We used to have like a full like, you know, railway system through Wilmington. You know, like
Yeah.
trolley all the way to like Carolina Beach, and they got rid of that. And that happened all across America. Like any city that was like larger than like 20,000 people, you would have these mass transit systems like built in that were like fantastic. And then the auto industry around like the 40s was like, we're not making any fucking money. Nobody's buying cars. It's a luxury item. We're going to buy up these mass transit companies across America and shut them down so people have to buy cars. Yeah. That happened. And what's funny is like one of my favorite movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the whole like backbone of that movie is about that. Like the villain of that movie has bought up the mass transit system in LA to shut it down so he could buy Toontown and bulldoze it over to build a highway.
This show is not only hilarious, it is fucking educational.
Yeah, no, dude, I learned about that like in high school and wrote like a whole paper on it in a class because it like fucking blew my mind. I was like, yo, we had like this system of shit all across America that just does not exist anymore, and that's why like the bus system in like Wilmington and other like counties is so fucking bad across America. They want it to be bad on purpose because it's like, A, only poor people are taking it, so who gives a fuck? And B, we can just like keep building fucking cars, and now we can fucking export that shit to other countries so we don't have to pay people over there to build our automobiles and get rid of fucking unions. Like it's the most evil fucking thing. Like,
dude, most big CEOs and, you know, Fortune 500 companies and stuff, they are evil geniuses. The fucking halfway house down the street, he's an evil genius. He charges these kids $900 a month to live there, And then he's like, "Oh, you don't have a job? Come work at my company.
Dude,
I'll
that
pay you
halfway
minimum
house
wage."
is more than I pay for rent in the house I live in.
And then you get one room that's about this big.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
And then he employs you for minimum wage. So all the money he gives you, you get
Goes
right back to him.
God, dude.
And then they never get ahead.
No.
You're not helping them. You're a fucking psychopath. You're a sociopath.
So why not start smoking crack again? You know, like, why not? This shit sucks. I'm miserable. I don't have any happiness in life because I can't afford to buy a fucking TV and get Netflix to tune the fuck out.
And what it is he understands that these kids, this is their last stop.
Yeah.
They have burnt all their bridges with all of their family and friends. They can't move out. They can't go live anywhere else. They don't have any extra money in their pockets to go get another place. So they know they have to stay sober because they can't get kicked out because they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah. And it's just a vicious cycle.
And that's genius.
Yeah.
If you are evil.
Yeah.
Like, if you have no conscience, you have no soul.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's what capitalism does.
That's not fooling. Like,
yeah.
You're not fooling me. You're
Yeah.
a piece of shit, just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's what capitalism does. Is it's so good at like profiting off of like, you know, the addicted and lazy.
Yeah.
Like that's what, like, there's a way out, and there is to a certain extent. If
Luckily,
you have,
I already had a job because I had to do a little bit of time at a halfway house. You know, when I went through all my bullshit. And luckily, I already had a job, and I didn't burn the bridges with my family. They were very supportive of what I was going through.
But you're a lucky one.
But I was, I was a lucky one. I looked around all the people around me, and I'm just like, y'all don't even have a clue.
Yeah, they don't have that opportunity.
You don't have a clue about what they're doing to you, do you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like what's so
and
fucked up.
I hate that because they're not bad people. I do understand addiction as a disease, and it's not always about personal choice. And I do feel bad. I feel so bad for these people.
Yeah, and
I
you're
don't
lucky that you were able to find an avenue that you could move that vice into. You know, that like you can still drink, you can still smoke weed, and it's not.
I just know I can't do opiates.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but some people aren't as fortunate. You know, it's like I can't do opiates. I can't do anything. I go to church 3 times a week. You know, and you become like
and
that.
And then you go to meetings every day.
You get an addiction into something else. And then all you talk about is your addiction.
And I hate feeling bad for people because I don't want anybody to feel bad for me.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's terrible. What's happening?
It's the unfortunate thing of like someone not telling you that there's a way out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these addiction programs. There's
not this one cut and dry way to stay sober.
And that's the thing is they want to tell you there's one
this is the only way. You have to go to meetings every day. You have to call your sponsor.
You have to make your
day,
whole life being an addict, being in recovery, and it's like
there's a whole world out there. What's to me the whole point of recovery is being able to go anywhere in the world you want to go, and you know you're not going to get fucked up. You know you're not going to have a drink. You know you're not going to do drugs.
Yeah.
You're just enjoying life on your own terms.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, they knock it into people's heads because it is for profit.
Exactly.
That this is the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And they have I'm pretty sure these halfway houses have a contract with the local rehabs.
Oh, 100%.
They set them up out of rehab. They set them up in these halfway houses.
Yeah, and it's just a vicious circle, you know. That
and they're like, oh, they can fuck up at these halfway houses. We'll send them back to rehab for another 30 days for another 10 grand.
Yeah, we're gonna put them in this halfway house where you can walk 3 blocks and go get a fucking dime bag. If
it's
you want,
so fucked up.
Yeah,
and like I said, if you screw up here at the halfway house, we kick you out. We'll send you back to rehab for not for free.
Yeah, so you can get in debt further.
And then after you do that rehab again, then you come back to the halfway house where we take all your fucking money that you don't have.
Yeah, good luck signing a lease. Good luck fucking getting a loan for anything.
And there's no lease or contract for the halfway houses. If you have the down payment and the first month's rent, you can get in there. It doesn't matter your credit.
No. Because they fucked up your credit by putting you in the fucking rehab facility where you got to pay that $100.
I hate it for them. I hate God. Yeah. I drive because I live right down the street from them, and I see the same people that have lived there when I was there 4 years ago that have lived there before I even moved in.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys,
and they don't have a dude running that thing that is like, there is a way out. Like,
Yeah,
they
they're
don't have
all
that
brainwashed.
reinforcement.
Their house manager is just as brainwashed as the
They
rest
turn
of
into a
them.
little cult.
They're like, oh, I'm the house manager. I get $5 off a month.
Yeah.
It's like you're a fool like the rest of them.
And that's a perfect encompassment of what America is. You know, it's like, oh, I'm a small business owner. I get $5 off a month. And then, you know, like, meanwhile, just like Biden's fucking your mouth. And it's like, well, I get to fuck your mouth because I give you $5 off a month.
Exactly.
You know, and they're like, well, Trump gave me $8 off a month. So he still fucked my mouth, you know. He still, you know, put it in my ass raw, you know. He didn't even spit on it, you know. At least Biden's going to spit on it before he puts it in there.
But yeah, like I said, I really hope, because these people have nobody. They can't help it.
Yeah.
And
well, they don't put.
And I hope Wayne Ray is listening to this, because you know what the fuck you're doing to these people.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude, don't
Wayne
give
Ray,
a fuck.
you're fucking these kids, and I hope you're fucking listening to this, because you're a piece of shit.
Dude, no.
I don't care.
Yeah, dude, no, fuck that.
I don't care.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't, man. Like, because it is like, you need to fucking take a look in the mirror and realize that you're taking advantage of people that have no place else to go. Like, you're a pimp. Like, that's what you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking just like using
users. You're
users.
fucking these people.
Yeah, and you're making people like think.
They're the worst. He's the worst piece of shit. He fucks you and then makes you say thank you.
Yeah, no, that's fucking disgusting, man.
Isn't
it? I just like. It boggles my fucking mind. But thank you, President Ronald Reagan, for allowing that to happen. I'm so fucking thankful. You know, like, man, no, good for you for fucking speaking your mind about that shit. It's a fucking important thing, man.
More people in Wilmington need to say that, because there's a lot of addicts that they're always going to be stuck in that vicious cycle, because the people that run these places know this is your last stop.
Yeah, and this isn't just a Wilmington thing. This is in America.
This is everywhere.
We have become like a fucking country of addicts.
And I know I'm blessed. I'm lucky.
You're so lucky, dude.
I understand.
For sure.
I know. I'm so lucky and very fortunate that I have as good a family and friends as I have, but the majority of people don't have that.
No, for sure. I mean, look at us now. We're fucking
they don't
smoking
have
cigarettes in your living room. We're recording on a recording equipment you fucking bought. You know, you could sell this shit for Oxy right fucking now. We could party.
Yeah, I can't find any.
Yeah. Yeah, well, dude, they made it fucking illegal now.
Right,
you know, what the fuck? Like, come on. I guess we'll just get Narcan together just to feel a rush.
But yeah, that's like, I remember AJC said something to me the other week, right before the IOM comedy kickback. He's like, dude, because I was like, you know, I was like, damn, a lot of people I know bought tickets to watch this, and he's like, bro, just remember every fucking open mic where you perform for 2 people that already hated you.
Yeah.
No, it's like just like remember like how like you're not a person like me. I'm never where I want to be, but I'm moving in that direction.
Dude, you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're fucking doing it. Like you've got it, you know, and you're figuring shit out, and like you've got like a self-awareness that's just very like key, and that's what helped you pull you out of your addiction, you know, and it's what helped you get here.
I know I can't be, you know, like that's stuff like it overwhelms a lot of addicts when they like maybe first get sober, they're maybe second or third time trying, and a lot of people put the pressure on them like, all right, you have to stay sober forever now, and it's like that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody.
Yeah, no, for sure, because it's like, and they feed that into just people's minds that that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's why, like, when they go out and they have a beer and they're just like, oh, that's it. Now I just got to go full throttle. It's like, no. Like it's okay.
Yeah, and
you're not perfect. You're an addict.
I mean, a great person to talk about that with is fucking Brian Granger. Like, you know, like he fucking was, you know, like
he was on my 3rd or 4th episode here, and we actually talked about that.
Yeah, because it was like, because
I told him about me, like I had to go to rehab and detox.
Yeah, and I remember when that happened, and I remember like, you know, however long it was, like a year later, 6 months later, and we were doing a show at like a craft beer place where we got like free drinks for like performing. And like before the show, we're like smoking a cigarette back, and I noticed, I'm like, oh, you got a beer on you. And I was like, are you good? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I know that I can have one beer. Like, I can do that. Like, I can have one beer here now before the show, and I can have one beer when I get off stage, and then I'll go home.
I feel like once you
And
get
it's
to
like,
an
yeah.
age and you've done it, you've just been through it for so long, unless you're just a fucking maniac and you.
Yeah, well, it takes different things for different people.
I was just about to say, like, some people, they need complete fucking, abstinence.
Yeah, because
Some
it's like
people
a
need it, 'cause they're like,
similar buddy of mine.
I can have one hit of a cigarette and then I'm sucking dick for crack.
Yeah, well, like a similar
Within a week.
Similar buddy of mine, I remember talking to him, and he was probably like a year, sober too. And I was getting ready to go like smoke a bowl, like in between sets or whatever, like a weekend show. And he was like, "I just want to smell the weed on you." And he was like, and I was like, "Do you want to just like take a hit?"
I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I want to stand next to you while you smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, and he was, and I was like, "Do you want to like take a hit?" And he was like, "No, I can't." He was like, "If I do that, I'm gonna go have a shot right after." He was like, "I know I can't do it yet." And then now it was like probably beginning of the year or whatever, we're smoking a bowl. And it was just like, oh, you're cool now. Like it takes different amounts of time. It takes different things for different people. And
that's why I don't put anybody in a box and say that you're like this. And
no, exactly.
I don't believe in absolutes. I believe there's different phases in people's lives. There's different people in people's lives.
Yeah, and
that influence them. And people go through different stages. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago.
No, exactly.
I'm always trying to evolve and better myself. I don't like to stay in one place at the same time. I mean, I don't mean physically, but mentally, emotionally, and I mean all that. I've always.
You don't want to be stagnant.
Yeah, I want to evolve as a person because I know times change, people change, and I don't want to be that guy. That's like.
Well, that's what nobody wants to.
You don't want to be that boomer that's like, oh, you see those colored people over there, and you're like, what did you just say?
Or the type of dude, that's like. My fucking better days are behind me.
It's like I hate that for you.
Yeah. No, it's like you fucking said it as a joke when we came in. But it was like I was at my peak at 12. And it was just like still thinking about that fucking no hitter, man.
Yeah.
I fucking did it. I fucking rocked it.
And that's too. I don't want to be that guy with the fucking what is it the Letterman jacket that's showing up to the same bar.
Yeah, you're not fucking taking that jersey off the wall and putting it on and being like, it still fits. Like, I can still fucking, I still got it, man. Like, what?
I don't want to be the Uncle Rico.
Yeah, dude, yeah, exactly. I've got my fucking bat and ball, like, out there. You fucking throw me a couple pitches.
I can still strike you out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm an accountant. I have to go to work tomorrow.
Dude, I got you. Dude, my roommates keep moving out. I don't understand why. I just keep freebasing around them when I'm like, I'll throw you a no-hitter, bro. I'll do it.
It's all them. It's not me.
Yeah,
because
I'm
I'm
fine.
still awesome.
I'm fine.
We go get a beer.
TV never got better after Mad TV went off the air. I fucking swear, dude. It's fucking downhill from there. People say Sopranos, I say Mad TV. It's like, no, you just have.
You were listening to that fire Nickelback CD?
Yeah. Dude, yeah, hip hop started and stopped at Wu-Tang Clan. Like, it never.
I love Wu-Tang Clan.
I love Wu-Tang Clan, but when you're that fucking 35-year-old white guy that's like, I only listen to rock music and Wu-Tang Clan's pretty cool, bro.
That's a problem.
Yeah, then it's just like,
you also don't want to be that guy at 30 and 35 and 40 that's just all about weed.
Oh, dude, those are the worst. Like fucking Kevin Smith. Like, where it was just like, I never smoked weed before, then I turned 40 years old and got high with Seth Rogen. Now all I do is talk about weed.
Yeah.
Talk about weed and my wife's pussy. That's all I do. Why doesn't anybody want to hang out with me anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, because you suck.
Like, I always want my comedy to evolve.
Oh, dude, for sure.
The jokes, the jokes I was telling a year ago are not the same jokes I'm telling now.
Well, dude, it would be a bummer.
It would be a big bummer. I wouldn't be putting on shows.
No, that's the thing. It's like, I definitely feel like creatively stagnant, where it's just like, I feel like I haven't written a lot. Like, there's just not much fucking going on. And then I see like a fucking dude like Steven Soderbergh, who's like one of my favorite filmmakers, and it's like, what have you been doing in quarantine? It's like, wrote 3 movie scripts. And I'm like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah, it's like, it's weird, like, and I hate saying it because some people have done very bad during quarantine.
I don't think I've ever done better.
Yeah. Well,
I've never done better.
yeah. We've been fucking working, you know, like that's the thing is we both are like fortunate enough to have like jobs that like don't fucking stop for a virus, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
And
look,
it's not a bad job either.
no, exactly. It's like, look, people still need fucking electricity in their house, and people still need fucking food. Like we're fine. Like people still need groceries. Like,
yeah, America's not going to stop being fat because Joe Biden is president.
no, dude, people want their fucking ice cream, and I'm gonna give it to them. You know, like, come get your pints. I got them for you. Best fucking vegan ice cream you'll ever have.
But no, I'm loving life right now. I've been surrounded by some very beautiful women lately.
You been getting laid a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I haven't been single in like almost 4 years,
I have.
which is a long time. This is the longest relationship like I've ever had. Cause like, you know, in my younger days I was a lot like sport, you know, like, so it like COVID's been good for hooking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't really like known.
Fantastic.
You know, I don't have like most of my friends aren't single. Like my brother, I'm really close with. Like he's been in a committed relationship for like 4 years. My best buddy's engaged, so it's just like I'm not around single dudes.
It's really what I got, and I kind of hope she's listening.
Oh, dude, what a creepy smile you just did. That's like a pussy eating smile.
But no, I had broken up with this girl, I'd say 3-4 months ago, and ever since then I started this podcast and started doing stand-up a lot more during quarantine, and then put on the show.
Yeah, well, you think it's a fake virus designed to hurt Trump.
But like ever since I broke up with her, like I've done like all this like shit that I've really been wanting to do, because she's like super lazy.
Yeah, you've been super productive.
She's been like, she's super lazy, and like I just like I would like plan to go to open mics, and then she'd be like, oh, just lay in bed, and that's what I ended up doing. But ever since I've like split up with her, I've done like all this shit. And
oh, dude, I've been in the same boat.
Dude,
before.
she called me last week. I want to say like late last week. She called me 20 times at like 1 a.m.
Because she's mentally stable.
Wanting to, yeah, because she's got it all together.
She's doing great, dude. Her and her dad, they have a great relationship.
They have a fantastic relationship, and her mother do not hate each other.
Yeah, no, they love each other, dude.
Yeah.
That's why she calls you at 1 a.m. 20 times, because she's doing.
That's when you know you're doing good in life. When your ex calls you 20 times at 1 a.m. That's when you know you're crushing life.
You know, you just like you know how to pick them, dude.
I do.
Yeah.
And like after a while, it's like, is it me? It's like, nah, it can't be me.
It can't be me. You know? I'm fucking peachy, dude.
Yeah.
They love me.
I peaked at 12.
Yeah,
There's no way I could go wrong.
I'm fucking crushing right now. Do you know how good I was at fucking Little League, bitch? Fucking look at me, dude.
That's
fucking,
right. I got molested the most by my coach.
Dude, why don't you
I was
fucking
doing great.
why don't you fucking put on that umpire mask while I'm not on your face? Like, I want to just fucking put it on. I want to get caught in the netting. It reminds me of.
I want to get reminded of getting kicked out of a game by just disrespecting an umpire.
Yeah, because Coach Bradley said it didn't suck him off good enough, so I'm not gonna start the game.
You know, my stepdad was my coach growing up, and I was always jealous that he would molest all the other kids in that game.
Yeah, he just made you watch. It's like so sad that you had to be a cuck for your stepdad.
Isn't it? You know, that's why I'm just always craving for attention now. I didn't, why does everyone else get to get fucked by my stepdad?
Yeah, they're like, like that's why Hunter's so good at working center field, because his ass doesn't hurt, so he can run better.
That's funny, because I did play center field.
Hey, I can read a center field.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Tight asshole.
You're gonna be good for running, dude. Fucking got hustle. Catch some feelers, catch some grounders, do it.
Those were fun times. I want to thank twitch.tv/the_reaper_show for proudly supporting and
you got sponsors?
This
is a sponsor break?
Then sponsoring this show.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
actually really excited about it. And also CPR, Clemens Party Rentals. It's everything you need for any of your parties or get-togethers. I'm super fucking excited about that.
You got ad breaks?
Got ad breaks.
I'm in the middle of an ad break, dude. This is wild.
He's got this new thing where it's like during COVID and everything, he's got like a portable hand washing station with like a foot pump.
Nice.
Bam, like all of these like sticky-handed nasty kids, like bam, put them in the fucking pump wash.
That's right. It's, you're gonna have any fucking
Clemens Party Rental.
Yeah.
And also the Reaper Show on Twitch TV.
Reaper Show. Nice. Fucking streaming gaming? Is that what that is?
That's what he does. Yeah, he's killing it at whatever game. I don't play video games, but he's killing it at whatever game he's playing.
Yeah.
Go and follow him and talk some shit to him.
Yeah.
He's also a good friend of mine.
on Fortnite, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And don't forget to check out Local Killers Comedy Showcase November 19th at the Sour Barn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Fuck yeah, I hope so. You're in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm on the lineup. My name is on the poster. It's fucking unfiltered and offensive.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, dude.
Jack, I'm fucking so glad you came by.
Dude,
man.
Thanks for having me on.
You're gonna have to come by again.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime, man. This was fun, you know, like...
Yeah, and maybe next time I'll get the fucking cave feel. I've been meaning to do it for a minute, but...
This is the real bachelor lifestyle. This podcast studio and living room with the keg tap going.
Fuck
dude.
yeah, dude. I built that shit.
That's dope. Yeah, dude.
It was a pain in the dick, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've had to build it before. I know how it goes. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
see you the 19th.
Fuck COVID.
Fuck COVID. It's not real.
Yeah, it's a fake virus designed to destroy Donald Trump by the Democratic Party. That is why I voted for Joe Biden.